Now at 5, a raging fire corners a family. The mother talking about this daring rescue on just one station.
Sunshine forward tomorrow, tracking more rain for start of the weekend.
Plus, approved abroad, a major milestone in the battle against COVID-19, and the U.S. is hoping to be next.
And a woman dodging danger when bullets fly in a parking lot.
7 News at 5 starts now. Now on 7, fast-moving flames tearing through a home. A mother and children trapped and in trouble. Firefighters racing to the rescue.
Crews in Boston's South End wasting no time saving that family from the balcony of their burning and smoky brownstone.
The mother talking about the heart-stopping experience on just one station. 7's Kimberly Bookman is live in Boston with the interview you will only see here. Kimberly.
Adam, the mom and 2 daughters were taken to Mass General Hospital with smoke in their lungs. They are going to be okay, and talk to us about what happened.
She was a little scared.
7-year-old Annabelle Soto helped speak for her mom hours after they were rescued along with her baby sister from a fire in their South End townhouse.
It feels awful.
Annabelle's mom is deaf. She says the alarm that flashes lights to alert her to trouble was not working this morning. But through an interpreter, she explains how she knew something was wrong.
When the baby cries, the clock like shakes.
The 31-year-old single mom grabbed her girls and tried to escape, but could not.
She said she tried to go down, but there was a lot of smoke and they couldn't breathe on their way down. So she went back and she knew about the balcony.
That's when Boston firefighters extended a ladder and climbed up to help them.
They held on to us tight, and we held on to them tight.
Jason Pratt caught the whole thing on his cell phone camera.
Suddenly this woman appeared with her 2 babies out on this fixed balcony, like fire escape balcony. And at that point, those firefighters just kicked into gear.
Family members rushed to the home.
I was terrified. I was at work and they told me, but my mom was nervous.
Once the fire was out, they were able to go inside and grab some things. The Christmas tree they just put up yesterday seen through the burnt out window. The Sotos are not the only ones displaced. The townhouse had 5 units, 8 tenants. Tonight, all thankful they made it out.
She said that she saw something like that will never happen to her, and she's grateful to be alive.
And the fire department says this fire started on the first floor and it was electrical but not Christmas related. Reporting live from the South End, Kimberly Bookman, 7 News.
7 News now turning to the weather, and here's a live look over Boston. It's feeling like December again after a mild day yesterday, and as we get closer to the weekend, we are tracking some wet weather. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Reiner here with the first check of the forecast. Jeremy?
Yes, compared to yesterday at this time, temps running about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than where we were, which this is where we should be for this time of year. Low 40s right now. Boston 41, Nashua 38, Jaffrey 35. There's still a chilly breeze out there, but we get rid of the breeze overnight tonight and for tomorrow. And tomorrow, it's a decent December day. Lots of sunshine, a few high thin clouds at times. Temps tomorrow morning around 30. As we get to the afternoon hours, the numbers will reach the mid and upper 40s, which is just about on target for this time of year. Bill Rick at 47, Boston at 48. High pressure is to thank for the nice weather. Now, on the other side of the high pressure, we find another storm. And that area of low pressure getting organized in the southern plains, that is going to make a beeline right for southern New England as we get to Friday night and more so on Saturday. And this is going to be another rainmaker. I do not think it's quite as volatile as the storm we just dealt with a few days ago. But with that said, we're going to have pockets of steady, occasionally heavy rain. Winds may gust upwards of 50 miles per hour in the Cape. I think elsewhere about 30 to 40 miles per hour. And this storm will have a little bit of cold air to play with. So I do think western and northern New England are going to have accumulating snow. For us, I think it's probably going to try to end us some snow. Worcester Hills, Merrimack Valley, perhaps Metro West, and for Metro Boston, the 95 corridor, looking like a chilly rain on Saturday. We'll talk more about the Saturday storm and the 7-day forecast in a few minutes.
Right now, we're talking about the coronavirus emergency, and it's a medical milestone. Pfizer's vaccine receiving approval for emergency use in the UK. So the UK is the first country in the world to get that approval. Here in the U.S., that approval could be coming very soon. Let's find out more. 7's Jonathan Hall, live in Cambridge with the latest. John.
Yeah, Kim, this really is good news. Pfizer says it is ready to ship millions of doses of its new COVID-19 vaccine to England. And that vaccine It has about a 95% efficacy. Certainly welcome news across the Big Pond. In what Pfizer calls a historic moment in the pandemic, the UK has become the first Western nation to approve the company's COVID-19 vaccine. In London, the killer virus has many longing for help from science.
I think it's been quite a shocking situation, and we're very grateful to see the news today.
Perhaps we are finally going to turn the corner, so it was wonderful.
Despite this good news, British health officials are urging people to not let down their guard, so those stiff upper lips must remain behind face coverings.
If we just kind of go, oh, the vaccine's here, let's abandon caution, all you're going to do is create a tidal wave of infections, and this vaccine's then got to work in a headwind to get back ahead of the game.
This plant in Andover is one of the Pfizer facilities which is expected to crank out more than 1 billion doses of the vaccine by the end of 2021. November 20th, Pfizer asked the Food and Drug Administration for emergency use authorization so the vaccine can go to work on Americans. An FDA advisory committee will discuss the vaccine 1 week from tomorrow.
Of course, we're all eager to have enough supply to vaccinate every American who wants it. And because of Operation Warp Speed, we expect to be at that point in the spring.
While health officials in the UK have determined people who live and work in nursing homes should get the very first doses shipped, the U.S. government is advising that healthcare workers get the first shots.
Our number one priority has to be to conserve the fighting force, the people at the bedside fighting this disease, the doctors, the nurses, the respiratory therapists. If they go down, then there's nobody to take care of the patients.
Cambridge-based Moderna also has a vaccine on the fast track for approval by the FDA. It's very similar to the Pfizer vaccine, requires 2 doses. However, it does not require that dry ice, that ultra-cold shipment. It can be stored in a refrigerator. We're live in Cambridge. Jonathan Hall, 7 News.
Despite the vaccines on the horizon, the director of the CDC today issuing a dire warning.
The reality is December and January and February are going to be rough times. I actually believe they're going to be the most difficult time in the public health history of this nation, largely because of the stress that it's going to put on our healthcare system.
Jarring statement indeed. Dr. Robert Redfield says the U.S. death toll could reach 450,000 by February. Right now, the death toll is around 272,000.
In New Hampshire, lawmakers bundling up and spreading out to start their legislative session. There they are on the fields of the University of New Hampshire for a meeting this afternoon. 400 House members, 24 senators, all sworn in. More than 100 lawmakers stayed home, and leaders had revealed on Tuesday that a number of Republican House members tested positive for coronavirus after attending a meeting 2 weeks ago. Stay with the news station for the latest in the coronavirus emergency. We'll always bring you updates here on air, also on WHDH.com and the 7 News app.
Also on 7, the Justice Department is investigating whether a convict was planning to offer a bribe in exchange for a presidential pardon. 7's Dan Housley is live in the newsroom with the latest. Dan?
Well, Adam, as far as we know right now, this possible scheme involved a single federal convict, but it comes at a time when pardon talk is expected to increase, with President Trump's time in the White House coming to an end. The Department of Justice is investigating whether someone planned to funnel money to the White House or a political committee in exchange for a pardon. The potential crime disclosed in heavily redacted court documents unsealed in federal court Tuesday. Those documents describe a secret lobbying scheme involving a substantial political contribution in exchange for a presidential pardon or reprieve of sentence. The filing doesn't say who the alleged plotter reached out to at the White House, if anyone, and a Justice Department official told CNN that no government official was or is currently a subject or target of the investigation. President Trump dismissed the report on Twitter, saying, "Pardon investigation is fake news." But President Trump is reportedly considering pardons for some of those closest to him before he leaves office, including members of his own family. Since the election, President Trump has reportedly been discussing preemptively pardoning his 3 oldest children and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. None of them currently faces any charges or even any publicly known investigations. But sources tell CNN the president has told advisors he feels he and his family have been unfairly targeted, and he's concerned those legal pursuits could continue under our Justice Department in a Biden administration. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany Wednesday said she's unaware of any such discussions of possible pardons.
I've heard no mention of any pardons in any conversations I've had in the White House.
Other reports say the president's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, asked for a pardon, something Giuliani denies.
That's what they are.
And it is important to note that any presidential pardon would only cover federal crimes. The president himself is facing a grand jury investigation involving the New York district attorney and unspecified potential crimes. Live in the newsroom, Dan Housley, 7 News.
Democrats picking up another seat in the Senate with former astronaut Mark Kelly taking the oath. Vice President Mike Pence swearing in the new senator from Arizona. Kelly won a special election there last month. He's filling the seat left vacant by the late Senator John McCain. Kelly's wife and former Congressman Gabby Giffords was by his side during the ceremony.
Turning now to the Celtics and Kemba Walker's season sidetracked. The C's guard now talking about the knee injection that has him missing the start of the season. He's talking about how he's feeling and also discussing the timeline of his recovery going forward. Sports Director Joanne Racino live in our newsroom with the news on Walker.
It will be January at the earliest before Kemba Walker suits up for his first game of the upcoming season. The All-Star point guard is out indefinitely as he goes through a 12-week strengthening program on his left knee. Walker received a stem cell injection in that left knee recently, a procedure that was performed after he consulted with multiple specialists. And while Walker admits he doesn't know anything about the injection, he says he's comfortable with the doctor's decision and that he's in no rush to return to action.
To be honest, it wasn't good. I wasn't myself, didn't feel good. So, yeah, man, it's really just about, being comfortable, just deciding not to rush back and, take my time and, just get healthy. I've had a pretty long run. Haven't had much of a break since I've signed here. So I think it'd be nice for me, to tell you the truth.
The Celtics will open their season without Kemba on December 23rd, hosting Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Reporting live in the newsroom, Joanne Racino, 7 News.
More news we're covering today. Sky 7 HD over a deadly crash in Uxbridge. Both the driver of the car and the driver of the tractor trailer sadly died following the crash. It happened between Rock Meadow Road and Blackstone Street. The cause of the crash is still under investigation.
A number of cars going up in flames in Boxborough. Firefighters rushing to the CBK Auto Shop on Mass Ave early this morning. You can see the flames and the smoke rising from a cluster of cars as they burned. Sky 7 HD over that area later in the morning. Burned out cars still in the lot where the fire started. Police say everyone's okay and no damaged buildings as a result of the fire.
Still to come here this evening, parking lot panic. The incident that caused a man to get out of his car and then open fire.
Then at 5:30, Boston parents and students sending a message to the school district today and what they want leaders to let them do.
And then coming up in just 1 hour, getting winter ready. COVID-19 testing sites gearing up for some cold days ahead. Those stories and more as we continue on the news station.